Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So we're gonna do a reaction of TRAPGEEK. You already know TRAPGEEK is literally, I feel like TRAPGEEK is literally my favorite. Like all the people who do these documentaries left and right, TRAPGEEK is number one to me. TRAPGEEK and the other UK white guy, I don't know him, but I don't know what's his name. I don't remember his name, but he's also there. But TRAPGEEK is also there. And what I like about TRAPGEEK is take his time with his video. He doesn't post often, but when he posts, he do like the perfect length, 16 minutes. I love it. And he's actually talking about shit. Like he really do this shit. Like he really do this. You know what I mean? And look, all his videos are more than millions of views because he really like do this. You know. The best stories worth telling in rap, like, you know, you really do this shit. Anyways, we're gonna do a reaction of TRAPGEEK, the Bronx burning RICOs for the drillers. And I probably know most of the things they're saying here, but I know TRAPGEEK is gonna tell me some shit that I don't know. So let's just get right to it. I hope this video doesn't lag when I screen record it.
Did what drill rapping was, but I called my son. He sent me some videos, and it is alarming.
At one time, the Bronx was a thriving community. That started to change.
Where y'all niggas at, bro? Where y'all rolling on niggas at? Y'all niggas pissing on my son, Goon War, nigga. Y'all niggas is bugging.
You did somebody who died. His name was Rara.
Yeah. Before he died, 2 days before he died, he said, "I'm gonna kill you when I see you." Look how that worked.
Honestly, like Nasby get crushed in a way that's absolutely mad. Like lost his girl, and now he's in jail for murder, possibly, allegedly. Like, bro, he's young. I guess that makes sense, though. He's only like 19 or 20.
These individuals want to get credit for the harm that they're doing.
The gangs are accused of operating out of public housing and often stalk their enemies in broad daylight.
Why y'all running up Dolly? Why you running? Why y'all running?
We are allowing music, displaying of guns, violence. We're allowing it to stay on these sites.
Hi, what is up, everybody? We're gonna talk about New York drill, probably one of the wildest scenes in rap, period. 7 years ago, there was a huge explosion with Brooklyn drill. Then the feds started doing gang sweeps, taking everybody down one by one. It got so crazy, you got shootings happening in Times Square involving established rappers.
This week's gunfire in Times Square, police have made an arrest. 20-year-old Kumina Elijah of Brooklyn.
Since 2017, the NYPD has used facial recognition technology, or FRT, in 22,000.
Well, people don't understand. These rappers don't get the money you guys think they get, especially in the beginning. Like, you will see rappers with millions of views still living in the projects, still living with his mom, still living, like, you know what I mean? Like, these people, just because they're rapping, and also they're not very, like, they're trying to flex something that, like, you know what I mean? You get a deal for maybe, let's say, 50K, 20K, I don't know. And you buy a chain. Okay, if you get 50K, you buy a chain for 20K just to flex. And you only have 30K. You cannot even, you know what I mean? Do much with that money for real. Like, you cannot do really much. Especially if you come from poverty, the money goes like that, bro. I'm telling you. So these rappers, they have to do what they have to do, and sometimes they have to hustle. Yeah, that's sad, but that's the truth, you know what I mean?
Cases. Because there's so many cameras in New York, the internet gets their hands on the footage of their favorite rappers involved in shootouts and moving traffic, stabbings, beatings near delis. I mean, some of the songs that were going viral. Every other line was someone smoking on someone's dead ops. Crews would boast about those same crimes and put them in music videos like they were Easter eggs. You had the city's mayor, Eric Adams, coming out in a press conference wanting to ban drill music, even expanding and investing into different departments that tracks everybody's pages online.
Much of that work is done here at the NYPD's Real-Time Crime Center.
They're bragging about what they're doing. Social media has proven to be an invaluable tool.
A few years ago, the Bronx took over. Maybe one of the sickest boroughs in the city.
The society in the Bronx is horrible.
Rappers from the Bronx to stop using the music to encourage shootings.
I remember in the 90s, kids were throwing fridges off the roofs of the River Park Tower projects in the Bronx. And now the kids from RPT.
I don't know, I feel like RPT looks so nice. This is how the hood look like in New York. I thought it was supposed to look dirty. Like, I feel like New York is one of the most dirty countries, city in the world. But this neighborhood, RPT, looks nice. Like, I could literally live in, like, it looks, my neighborhood look nice. Like, they look like almost on the same level. Like, who the project manager? That shit look nice.
Are getting indicted by the dozens on federal racketeering and gang conspiracy charges.
Niggas don't care about me, my heart. Like, my heart only been like 3 months. Like, niggas really forgot about me already. Like,
with the government trying to pin them for everything from murder all the way to animal cruelty. Talking about one of the most infamous drill voices in the scene, D-Thang, who was talking shit to a pigeon on an Instagram live stream with his boys, then shooting it dead for 100 viewers.
your little mate's right here. Dawg, wait. We about to drill him. You gonna pick him up? I can't look.
See, everything in New York was getting done for clout, followers, and numbers. With shootings spiking from 200 all the way to 500 last year. It's all young kids, aged 13 and 15, maneuvering the back alleys and the looping hills in the Bronx, using scooters to carry out hits in broad day.
This gang conducted wolf pack-like searches throughout the investigation.
Now, we're getting into all this, but first, check out my song of the day. This is my guy Millie's. Let's go.
I'm trying to send someone to urgent before they make me a patient. With the stroller in a hospital hallway pacing. Put it on my mama, I was young, broad day, my shit blazing. That out of towners when I close, when I'm aiming. My only mission was to stay alive, I'm trying to make it killing. The bitches left me, I was broke, I had to get about my feelings. Try to tell my youngest not to slide, but they too busy drilling. I've been trying to ease my pain, I'm popping perks like penis.
Nu blir vår kycklingmeny ännu större. Prova nya Grand Chicken Parmesan hos Max.
Alright, we're going to the Bronx to understand this story. Get ready to see wild shit. I mean, you got gangs dressing as Squid Games for Halloween, and it's not to go trick-or-treating. For the last 2 summers, Bronx drill was everywhere. On TikTok, radio stations, you got 3 to 4 sets of different cousins, blood-related, all established rappers, beefing with each other because of block politics.
That's my cousin.
No! Both of them are your cousins. Everybody's like, wait, hold up. They cousins, they're going at it, but he's cousins.
Can't wait to see Auntie now. Huh.
Because y'all are family, technically, could you ever see all of y'all reconciling?
Nah, I don't think so.
Wow. The music in the Bronx is super high energy, sometimes too high. Like these kids got ADD or something. The Bronx has the biggest dropout rate in all of New York, and it's becoming a problem. You got kids going to school in rival territories, with different campuses getting metal detectors in them to squash gang shootings.
Jelly! OIK, you heard? What?
This, of course, is the rapper Shaik, with 100 million views on YouTube in 2 years of rapping, coming out of the Cortlandt projects in the South Bronx, aka home of extortion. In 2009, the Cortlandt homes was subject to a police sweeping called Operation Bad Apple, which took down 52 people for racketeering and gang conspiracy. The NYPD even went on to build a police building right across the street from the projects called PSA 7, even though a precinct and a Bronx borough court are literally a few blocks away. Cortland's home to popular rappers like B-Love and Shaik. Shah, who's known for having a deep-ass voice that doesn't really match his face, went to the rival school in Mott Haven campus, just 9 minutes away from his hood, where he would bug out towards any kid that repped the rival gang, the YGs. He was making posts talking about YG killer, even hopping on Instagram lives at 12 years old saying directly to a YG kid named Wuladi that he was gonna spare him.
What's up, Via Wuladi? Huh? Yo, he said what's up, Via Wuladi? I know, I'm not gonna jump you, I'm gonna jump nuts.
5 years later, Wuladi would get murdered. See, the Young Gunners, or the YGs, is an infamous Bronx-made gang which started in 2003 in the Mott Haven houses and the Patterson houses, just 10 minutes away from Cortlandt. 2 detention centers in the Bronx, Horizons and Crossroads, are breeding grounds for gang recruitment, and the YGs were formed to combat the overwhelming numbers of Bloods in adult jails like Rikers Island. At one point, the YGs had dozens and dozens of different sets all banging under its umbrella, with all sorts of different hoods spread out throughout the Bronx, forcing other blocks around them to create their own gangs in response to combat the YGs. You can even see this in the classic South Bronx joint Shot Caller from French Montana. In the video, French is surrounded by YGs, and here you can see the leader, Drew Hef, who was killed a few years later at Club Tropicana, beaten on the head with the glass base of a hookah pipe. And when the glass shattered, his ops used a metal rod inside the hookah to continue pounding his head, leaving Drew Hef drenched in blood. He'd die in a coma a week later. The youngsters who oppose YGs often cite this event to antagonize them. YGs were notorious for violence themselves. Locals remember a horrific event that took place on April 16th of 2012 when a gang of YGs were drinking liquor on a hazy night, discussing who was the toughest in the crew. This crew of YGs made a 7-minute walk and stormed their rivals on Cortlandt Ave to see what they could catch. The Cortlandt buildings were empty, except for one kid. A 16-year-old named Noah Bala, aka Moses, was alone walking. Probably weighed about 90 pounds soaking wet. The YGs chased him, kicked him to the ground, and stomped him to death.
This story literally breaks my heart. This one literally breaks my heart. 16, 90 pounds. This kid most likely had some kind of disabilities. And you stomp it to death to prove what? You deserve to die if you do stuff like this. I swear to God, hell was made for people who do stuff like this and for people who obviously kill and rape and whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, these are the type of people who are supposed to go to hell and supposed to rot in hell. What makes you do stuff like this? What makes you do that and be okay with yourself? And I saw another documentary. I didn't do a reaction to it, but I saw another. I saw who. I don't remember his name. You know that big guy with the dreads that do reactions? He did a reaction to Noah Bala's, Files, it's called, whatever, how he got killed. And this killer literally was, like, bragging about it in jail. Even though he was not even in jail for that, he was in jail for something else. And somebody snitched on him, like he deserved. But you brag about killing a 16 years old kid, basically, was 90 pounds. He obviously got some kind of disability. He obviously is some kind of midget or something. Like, oh, I cannot say midget, I can say like he's a little person. That's what people say it, right? Like, come on, my sister in the background laughing like a bitch. Let me restart this shit.
Why are you eating?
Death. Kids from the Cortlandt projects hold Noah's name in high regard. Be Love, whose hit song, If You Know You Know, got 16 million views when it was released 2 years ago. He actually confronted the brother of a YG's member that killed Noah outside in front of the Metro Court as this guy was waiting to be tried for a different murder of another Cortlandt youth named Yellow.
Come across the street. I came to court with it. God, flop you, throw that up one more time. What the fuck you talking about? What you talking about? Come across the street.
The Bronx is so crazy. Dudes will get active in the courts, outside the courts, in front of police. They don't care.
Ditt leende, din superkraft. Dr. Smile. Boka en kostnadsfri tid på drsmile.se.
Prova Findus Fish and Crisp gourmetfiléer. En riktigt krispig smakupplevelse. Välkommen ombord.
I'm coming to Portland tonight.
Now, Noah's death is brought up in dozens of drill songs, all to disrespect him and the Cortlandt projects. Notorious YG rapper D-Thang out of the River Park Towers, a YG stronghold in the West Bronx, made the song Wedgie Man This, Wedgie Man That. In it, D-Thang has a cold-blooded line talking about the beating of Noah.
Just watch how we spin like a fidget. If we catch a hop, be going like that midget. So jelly fall back, I'ma clip him.
That song is riddled with disses. The title itself sounds funny. Wedgie Man This, Wedgie Man That. It's a direct shot at Sha EK, the rapper from Cortlandt, who was caught on camera getting a wedgie.
Drag him! Yo! Do you like my new song?
Wedgie Man This, Wedgie Man That.
Now D-Thang's home, RPT, the River Park Towers, alias the Death Towers, encompasses 2 44-floor buildings and 2 38-story buildings standing over the Harlem River. 8 years ago, the feds took down 20 of their top guys, wiping out the leaders, hiring security guards, and installing cameras to stop people from dealing drugs right outside. Then, the kids took over.
One way in, one way out. So this is my brother for life, forever.
They continued drug dealing, robbing. The feds were actually finding illegal weapons in the music videos, then tying them to shootings.
You got shot, is that true?
Yeah, we know. Word of my mother, we know.
New York has always had very strict gun laws. People wanted to know how these kids were getting their hands on weapons. Ghost guns, these untraceable firearms made from parts you could purchase online. It's been wreaking havoc in the city.
If you're a child, if you're a convicted felon, you can go online and purchase these parts, get the parts, construct a firearm.
Serial numbers, untraceable, no background check, nothing. That is a problem.
The whole of 2021 was crazy. As the feds were tuning into Instagram lives, you could see stuff like rapper D-Thang with his own cousin, K-Flock, flashing out on each other for a live audience.
Yeah, Muddy, don't do that, Muddy. Don't do that, Muddy.
If I see Stunner, you know I'ma whack him. Fuck that. No, I'ma clash him. Show my energy last time I saw you, Stunner.
K-Flock is literally D-Thang's blood cousin, coming from the famous Little Italy part of Central Bronx, near the 48th precinct. K-Flock's own mom pretended in an interview not even to know who D-Thang was.
Him and D-Thang are cousins.
I don't even know who that thing is. I'm the mom and I'm confirming it. That's nowhere near related to me at all.
His gang, DOA, or Dead on Arrival, is an allegiance of 5 blocks, all of which are surrounded by YGs and Drillies, a vicious gang of bloods that also oppose K-Flock and his gang, DOA.
Oh, Sa Flocka, come play. Come play today. You always playing on the internet. I want you to come play today.
Now, because the fans knew K-Flock as a crash-out specialist who would film his gang endeavors all for social media, this resulted in all his music getting more and more views.
Crash out specialist.
Let me tell y'all what he did, bro. This nigga gonna call me to a mansion party full of hot. Ask KK.
Yo, I was there.
We was in there, but who was there?
That's what I'm saying.
Knocker in there. Wait a room, no.
Now, this would make his rivals upset and jealous. K-Flock would bring them into Instagram lives just to argue with them.
Bro, y'all of scariness. I was following y'all.
You never did nothing to me, though. Really, never did nothing to me.
That kid he was talking shit to is Rajiz, a YG member from the 800 block, literally a 15-minute walk away from K-Flock's hood. Now, just 2 weeks after they had that argument on live, this YG kid Rajiz would preview a track called Real Facts, where he was going after K-Flock.
Hey yo, kicking out less with the facts. Anytime that they throw out through backs, he blew you a K, you ain't smoking on Mac.
While this was going on, the feds were catching these same YG kids on surveillance cameras, carjacking Toyota Camrys, Mercedes Benzes, even robbing someone at gunpoint. A month later, on July 11th, those same YG goons were hunting in DOA territory, K-Flock's neighborhood. They only had to drive 6 minutes before stumbling upon a 13-year-old kid named J-Rip, who looked up to K-Flock with huge admiration. One kid hopped out of a black Honda Accord that had 3 orange racing stripes on its hood. The kid aimed his pistol, unloading into J-Rip, who stumbled into this cafe, Angels, bled out, and died in front of customers. The same cafe, Angels, where K-Flock and Shaike were hanging out on a live stream a few months ago, right across the street from K-Flock's apartment.
Word to the God. Don't slide. Don't try to go like doing some stupid shit.
Word of J-Rip's murder got out quickly that day. The kid Rajiz, who was on live with Flock a few months prior, was now on social media mocking J-Rip's death. 7 hours later, Jay's friends went off to retaliate. They found Rajiz in a private Uber. On the phone, 2 shooters on a scooter pulled up next to him, opened fire through the window, hitting him in the head and torso, killing Ra instantly. And all this happened in Mount Hope, a mile out from J-Rip's murder scene earlier that day. Ra's family learned about his death from a friend who was on the phone with him at the moment he was killed. Revenge does not heal losing loved ones, but Flock's fame was exponentially growing. He got an offer for his very first show, upstate in Poughkeepsie, 2 hours out of New York City, where locals targeted him right away. 5 people were found shot, 1 stabbed, right outside the club Revel 32, as security at the venue scrambled, turning his tour bus into a makeshift ambulance, transporting victims to the hospital. The tour bus got shot up as well, because the people that were doing the shooting thought the K-Flock was inside it.
Most of these victims were occupants of a private bus that had been identified as being in multiple locations here in the city of Poughkeepsie.
But he managed to escape unharmed. The next day, K-Flock would pop out at Rolling Loud, New York for a surprise performance.
With the surprise performance, the next stars in New York, K-Flock and B-Love.
But he got into a brawl with another Bronx artist as their entourages clashed, thus banning Flock from the festival for life. but all this beefing just boosted his profile. That same night, he would drop the song Being Honest with G Herbo, which now has 25 million views on YouTube. It was like K-Flock was on top of the world, but he was still doing drills. 6 days later, he was in a rental car with his boys, driving to his cousin D-Thang's building, the River Park Towers, spotting an op, shooting them on the Roberto Clemente Bridge. You'd think it would stop there, but no. The next week, undercovers pulled K-Flock over in Yonkers, finding a gun in his sock, which if you know New York laws, carries a 3 to 5 year sentence. The very next day, he was bragging about buying a new gun. You're thinking this might stop, and it will. Getting close to Christmas, on December 16th, 2021, K-Flock walked past the barbershop in Harlem early in the morning, had a standoff with this man, pulled a pistol out, and shot him dead. The rapper in the city with the most buzz, caught on surveillance video, wearing designer clothing from head to toe, shooting a rival. And the shoes he's wearing in surveillance video that day are the same unreleased Jordans he was showing off for social media just a few days before. The craziest part is the guy Flock's booked for killing comes from a set in Harlem that have the same enemies that K-Flock has. Geographically, they have the same rivals. They both beef with YGs and Drillies. Flock began beefing with this set in Harlem called the OIs because one of their rappers, E-Dot Baby, was seen at a party smoking on Instagram Live with some YGs.
Yo, this shit, why do this shit got 300 views?
So Flock turned on them, gathered his posse, and made one of the coldest Bronx drill songs yet, called Brotherly Love. Riddled with disses towards this Harlem set, the OIs.
I catch the funny gon' knock off his hoe. Niggas talking fuck he wanna do. Oh, he chill with them op niggas too. Whatever they throw up, I'm dropping it too.
Shy EK, the rapper from Cortland, would side with E-Dot Baby, so in turn, he would start beefing with Flock, and Flock would start beefing with him, both of them releasing diss tracks, with Flock saying he was smoking on Shy EK's dead father.
Free Flock. All y'all niggas music's doing bad now. Y'all need him. But free him, cause you know what we gonna do. We gonna be the 5th dead DOA member.
Interestingly, just minutes before Flock pulled the trigger at that barbershop, killing the man, he had logged onto FaceTime to talk directly to his rivals, brandishing his gun. And he was filming at the exact same stoops where E-Dot Baby, the rapper from Harlem, had filmed a music video 1 year prior called Ready for War. Slowly, one by one, the Bronx was following the Brooklyn scene, with all their rappers getting wiped out by police indictments. 5 months later, the Drillies would get taken down in a massive RICO case, booking 20 people for murder, conspiracy, racketeering, and gang activity. Not even a month later, D-Thang, along with 22 of his guys from RPT, would get swept up as well. Then if you thought the scene wasn't toxic enough, 6 months later, the young rapper from Harlem, E-Dot Baby, would commit suicide, which has fans still wondering to this day why that happened. Fast forward to this year, February 2023, and K-Flock, who was already sitting in prison for murder, would be one of 7 DOA members named in a federal indictment spanning from 2017 all the way to 2023. This is the New York drill scene in a nutshell. Every few years, a scene pops off from one of the boroughs, rappers make a huge wave, and then it all comes crashing down. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Thank you, TRAPGEEK. Video always fire. When TRAPGEEK do this video, the shit's always fire. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you want me to react to more. And I wanted to say something quick. I feel like these people deserve to be in jail though. Like, no disrespect. They committing crimes and they're doing the times. People say free K-Flop. Free K-Flop is a murderer. At the end of the day, he's a murderer. He killed somebody. And they think fucking kill a pigeon. Like, these people deserve to be in jail. And that's just how it is. Why they should free them so you can have a new song in your playlist? Why are you waiting for? You waiting for your grandma to get a song or something? Like, what the hell? These people deserve to be in jail and that's just how it is. It's like, I'm sorry, respectfully, like, let them people rot in jail. Thank you. Bye.